Hey, this is Steve Bloom, and you are listening to the Geekcast Radio Network.
You're tuned in to Steve Megatron on Altered Geek Unlimited.
Hello and welcome to Altered Geek Unlimited, episode 115. I'm your host, Steve Megatron Phillips, and joining me this week is...
TFG1 Mike.
As you can tell, I am the extremely nasally version of Steve Megatron this week.
He's talking through his nose.
Yeah, I have a sore throat, head cold, so...
And the funny thing is, I can't really tell unless you're, like, fully talking. Like, I can't really tell that much of a difference, but...
Yeah, because sometimes I talk nasally and sometimes I talk in a different voice, so it's a little bit better that way. How would you feel if I talked like this for the rest of the episode? It'd be a little awkward, wouldn't it?
Sure, why not? I mean, I can talk like this, too. Of course, I have to sit here and hold my nose to talk like this.
Yeah, I don't have to do that. I'm used to change my voice.
So, you want to know something?
I like them taters.
They call me Tater Salad.
No, I was talking about that Billy Bob Thornton movie, Sling Blade.
Good Lord. So you want to know something really interesting?
Yeah.
Altered Geek is only the second podcast in almost 7 years of the GCRN history to reach 115 episodes.
That's a travesty.
You know what the first one is?
Tooncast.
Nope. That only went to 100.
The pull bag.
The pull bag, yep.
Well, if you count interviews that weren't technically numbered, then it might actually go higher.
For Altered Geek or for the pull bag?
The pull bag.
And
Tooncast Classic.
Yeah, the pull bag, if you count the back issue classics episodes, we're 44 episodes into back issue classics, so technically that goes higher, but I'm saying the actual overall numbered episodes, we reached 115 when you and I did Back to the Future #1 from IDW. But now Altered Geek is right there with it.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the plan? Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is something that we haven't done before with Altered Geek. We're recording it on the
impromptu, more or less shitfest of an episode.
Yeah, so what this essentially is happening here is, holy shit, I didn't count on that. Well, pardon my French there, but it wasn't really French, but the first episode of the Top 100 got about 110 comments.
Yeah.
Highest ever in
I think it's like 116 now, right?
I don't know. I haven't checked it. I'm on vacation this week, so my ass has been behind on all geeky news for the most part.
I'll look. Hold on.
While you're looking that up,
the part 1 has 117 total comments so far.
Yeah, well, part 2 has 84.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't counting on. In the meantime, the rest of the website is dead. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Oh, well, Tim Silver, to give credit where credit is due, Tim Silvers did comment on the recent released episode of Powers of Grayskull series, so there is that. People have been commenting on Talking in Circles and stuff like that. I wish people would comment more on this show, but...
Where'd my people go?
Yeah, no, right? Hell, I wish people would actually comment on anything I do. I was surprised someone actually commented on one of my written reviews, basically grammatically correcting me or pointing out the problems with the review, and I'm like, oh, hey, somebody actually reads my stuff, thanks. It's like, I can't help but answer sarcastically, because this is going to go into a topic you wanted to do a couple weeks ago.
What, controversy is fun?
No. When I set out to do podcasting, I set out to do it for myself. I still do it for myself. But at the same time, deep down, I still want to know. I still want that validation that people are listening, that people are paying attention to anything I do. And if I don't get it, I don't get it. I still enjoy sitting here talking with you for an hour, 2 hours, however long, or Dan or Kevin or or Amy and Nicole. Oh, Amy and Nicole. Showtime Synergy. Oh my God, folks. Doing the Gem podcast is like literally almost made me go in for reconstructive jaw surgery from laughing so much at what Amy and Nicole bring to that podcast. It's just hilarious. So I enjoy the aspect. Like when I'm on mic, when we're doing this stuff, I'm at my happiest. Before and after, I'm just like,
You're zombie Mike.
yeah. I'm like, I'm just like, the night that we almost didn't do part one of the top, yeah, part one of the top 100. I think I was late, or somebody was late. I don't remember.
You were late.
Yeah,
I had to call
I
you.
was. Yeah. So I was late. Steve had to call me, and I don't even remember because
He was like zombie mode. He's like, he answered the phone. I'm like, hello, is anybody there?
I thought it was my alarm, and I thought I hit the end button. Apparently, I hit the send button, and Steve's like, "Yeah, you're making all these." I'm like, "I don't even remember hearing you." He's like, "No, you didn't." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "All right, I'm here," and I get out here to the computer, and we get on the Skype call, getting ready to do part one of the top 100, and Steve's like, okay, yeah, you can't do it. I'm like, no, I'll be all right. Just give me a couple minutes because we had to wait on something else or whatever. I don't remember what it was.
It was Dan after that. But...
Okay, well, whatever. I don't remember. And, Steve's like, well, I know you're not going to be too, energy. I'm like, no. I just need to drink some Diet Coke, or I need to drink something, or I need to smack myself in the face a couple of times, and I'll be all right once my little condenser mic's blue light starts blinking, I'm fine. I'm ready to go. I'm in show mode. Let's do it. Whatever. Before and after, there's no guarantees what anyone will hear. It's kind of like the joke that Amy and I and Nicole always say about Nicole. It's always after midnight, and you never know what the hell Nicole is going to say.
But like for me, I don't necessarily need validation. I just like the conversation. So I always like it when people argue one way or the other, or they comment or
Right.
whatever. So
well, I mean, it's not so much that I need someone saying, commenting saying, "Oh, good job on the episode." I'm just saying, when I mean validation, I mean, people actually commenting on a podcast or something. Like, Tim Silvers does an amazing job. He usually watches the episodes and then listens to our He-Man She-Ra podcast, and then he'll comment and give his own thing. But that's what I'm more or less saying about validation. I'm just saying that, I want people to comment on my stuff too,
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't happen as often as I'd like, doesn't mean I'm still not going to do this, because I still enjoy actually doing it.
Yeah.
So.
So yeah, I'm on vacation this week.
Yeah, you're on a staycation.
Yeah, basically, I'm not going anywhere. Probably better. Yeah, we've done a little bit of yard work. We've done a little bit of prepping for winter, being that it's 60-some degrees right now outside, which is unheard of in Michigan at this point. Today, I'm recording this on a Tuesday rather than a Thursday because there's a possibility I may not be in town, but I'll get that out later. So I went to class today, got exempt from my class because I was going to the scoring session for the short film that we did. Mm-hmm. The director had finished adding the finishing touches to the film, which I didn't have time for. And then, because I work and, I have class, so I just literally can't get in there. And he exported it. I copied everything over today. We went and talked to the music tech kids, and I say kids loosely, I mean like just other students.
Yeah.
A lot of them are probably our age, but
Yeah.
So yeah, we're sitting in there. The teacher puts it on. Me and the director are sitting there. Only guys from this that have been riding this out the entire time. The other two people, MIA, doesn't matter. So we're the second to last group to get our film scored. We have to come back in 2 Tuesdays, so not next Tuesday, but the one after. I don't know why I'm explaining this, but and we have to go around and listen to the concepts and the piecings that because we timed everything during the class, and it allowed them to kind of build the score for each section of the film. There's like 6 sections of the film, so we basically get to cherry pick the sounds we want when we go back, and in the meantime, then we got to edit it all back in, export it, give it to the teacher. It goes into the film showing, which will be December 15th, which is a Tuesday night. So I'm pretty psyched about it. The one group that's been the travesty the entire time, I'm happy to say, is still a travesty from what I hear. I know it's wrong to say, but like they were doomed from the start, and I knew because of everyone that was involved. Because it's kind of wrong. I kind of make these assumptions about people when I go into classes, and I don't mean it in the wrong way. Like, because I don't sit there and make fun of people. I don't sit there and you know, I more or less I pick people out ahead of time based on whether I think they would make a good partner if we do group work.
Right.
And if I deem them not, based on comments that they make or actions that they perform in the class, I actively avoid them like the plague when it comes to group work. And again, it's just assumptions that I'm making. It's not necessarily right. It's just I see these certain types of people that I see as either screw-offs or they're just gonna annoy the crap out of me when we sit down. And that entire group was one of those. Like, and they annoyed me to talk to most of them.
So basically, what you're saying is you feel like Mr. Strickland, slackers, a whole bunch of slackers. Nobody likes a slacker, McFly.
I wouldn't even say they're slackers. It's just, I don't know. Something about them, they irritated me. So I'm glad I didn't go with any of them. Everybody else in the class was good except for that one team. Like, there were a couple people here or there that were literally useless. Like, they didn't show up to anything. Mm-hmm. But the majority of the class was good for that session. This session, there's a guy in my class that, because we have to do the aesthetics in a presentation in December on a film, and we chose Sherlock Holmes, Game of Shadows. Mm-hmm. A movie that, out of the grand scheme list that we kind of compiled separately, that and like 2 other films like Fifth Element and Day After Tomorrow were the films that we kind of came into agreement. And then and Guardians of the Galaxy, and we're like, no on Day After Tomorrow, no on Fifth Element.
Hey, wait a minute. What's wrong with
we have to watch them 3 times, do the aesthetics on them.
Oh, okay.
And then present about it. And I have to actually have visuals and cues, and we have to write a paper and a PowerPoint presentation.
Okay.
Those are not films I could sit and watch 3 times.
Okay, Day After Tomorrow I can see, but Fifth Element, I can watch that. Oh, I love that.
I like it, but it's one of those ones I watch once a year because I remember it enough. I don't really... It's not one of my favorite sci-fi movies.
Okay.
And we also boot out Guardians of the Galaxy just because I've seen it once, or actually twice. But again, I don't really care to analyze it.
Yeah.
So I opted for Sherlock Holmes, Game of Shadows, which is funny because everything I've written on in this class, for movie-wise, like not television-wise, movie-wise, has been a Robert Downey Jr. film. And it doesn't kind of, like, it was just afterthought.
Yeah.
And because, like, I had to compare Iron Man 3 and Tropic Thunder. Mm-hmm. Didn't realize that they were both
Robert Downey, yeah.
I knew Iron Man 3, but then I wasn't thinking about Tropic Thunder because he's the dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Yep.
So that threw me. And then, so I was glad I did that. And then the Game of Shadows, I was like, well, I might as well make it a hat trick for those hockey players out there. So we're doing that film, and I haven't seen it in a while. So, and I enjoy the Sherlock Holmes films. So there's a bunch of different types of aesthetics in it. Slow motion, the rapid fire, the going back and explaining things after it's happened, and then, so there's a lot of stuff in there. So I figured it would be the easiest to cherry pick and put together into a presentation. Fast forwarding, since like last week, our Pooch passed away.
Oh, yeah.
We've been on the hunt for another dog. I know some people think it's a little soon, but
it's a missing, like you said last week, it's a missing part of your life. Sadie's not here anymore. And you guys feel like you've told me off air, and I hope you don't mind me bringing this up.
No, it's fine.
You've told me off air that you and Mary just don't know what to do. Being in the house, and you told me there was one day where you guys just got out and spent the whole day outside of the house, and I mean, that's I honestly think it's normal. I think it would be not normal for you to not want another dog within 2 or 3 weeks of her pass.
Well, I know some
I mean?
people like to wait a lot longer, like 6 months to kind of give that grieving process in.
Yeah.
The same token, though, this house is not the same without a pet.
Right.
Like and I say that lovingly towards my cats because I have cats too.
Cats are different though. Okay,
but
cats
they're standoffish in the sense that they like you when they want you.
Yeah.
But when they don't want you, they're like, get the hell away from me.
Exactly.
Whereas the dog comes to you the minute you walk in the door.
Yep.
And swamps you with love the entire time.
Yeah, cats are self-sufficient animals. They don't need love or don't get me wrong. You can give love and affection to your cats. That's fine. That's all well and good. But they, as animals, from what I've understood and from what I've seen over my entire lifetime, cats are animals that do not necessarily need it right away. Like you said, when they want it, they'll come to you. With a dog is that...
It's like a wandering 3-year-old with 4 legs and hair.
So, wait, that's Ian's Halloween costume for next year?
No, that's literally like what it was like having my dog and having him running around the house. It's like fire and gasoline getting you're constantly putting out the fire with the extinguisher, but it's not going away because you have these 2 3-year-olds that are just thinking they're hilarious, which is now that it's gone, it's I don't know. I think because my son's starting to notice a little bit that, getting a little bit upset and mad that we don't have a dog.
Yeah.
It's hitting him, but it's not hitting him the way that it hit us. So we're looking for another dog. So we've looked through the entire state of Michigan. Can't find one that we absolutely love the appearance of. And again, there's something in the face that either draws us or doesn't. And we don't buy from breeders because there's plenty of pets that have no home.
Yeah.
So we're completely against the whole breeder thing. If you can't find a dog that you're looking for, a particular kind, and a breeder makes it, then great. But, us personally, there's so many dogs at these shelters and adoption places that it drives us nuts that there's so many that are unclaimed.
There's so many pets. Yeah, you're right. There's so many pets that are unclaimed, but there's so many pets that are out there that need the rescuing. And I've seen plenty of people, plenty of my friends in my lifetime, my family members, whatever, where they've come and rescued a dog, and that's that's the best thing that they'd ever done. So, actually, my Aunt Cheryl, who is married to my Uncle Richard, is actually my mom's brother. She actually used to be the animal control officer on the Cape up north in Massachusetts. She's retired now, and they're living in Georgia. But they've always had German Shepherds ever since I could remember, and that's their breed. They always go after the German Shepherds or whatever. And she always gets, rescued animals,
Yeah, and like my oldest cat, Myra, she's 9. We got her when literally she was the size of
Peanut.
I think. No, she's literally like almost the size of a roll of toilet paper.
Oh wow!
Like she was 4 weeks old when we got her. She was eating mush, like cat food, and she's the one that sits with me every time I podcast. So if you hear occasionally, it's because that's who that is. Now Simba, the other cat, we got him a year later, and it was only because our friends were looking to adopt a pet.
Right.
We went to the PetSmart pet adoption with him. He was there with a little girl. Simba was. And he was like 7. How old was he? He was like, no, he was like maybe 3-4 months old.
Okay.
And Mary's like, I don't know. We'll wait, because we don't really know if we want this cat. Well, we looked around a little bit, and then we decided we want this cat. So we went to the rescue place that had the cat.
Yeah.
His name was Harold. We were like, that's not sticking. And we renamed him Simba. And he's a fun one too. But and I say that lovingly, like he's a good cat. He's a whiner.
Yeah.
And if there's string, he's the typical cat.
Have you ever tried laser pointers with him?
Yeah, we used to do laser pointers with both cats. Myra really loves the laser pointers. Simba doesn't really. It requires him to move, and he doesn't want to do that. He's kind of lazy sometimes, unless he feels like moving. That being said, we love both our cats, but then we got Sadie like a year later from that, and so it's 9, 8, 7, and we literally got Sadie 7 years to the day that she died.
Oh.
Because we were looking at pictures and we were trying to figure out when we got her, and then it was after a vacation to Chicago, the year that Barack was first inaugurated to office. Because I remember hearing, we were in one of the hotels close by. We could hear it right down the strip. But
I'd rather hear Matthew Broderick singing "Twist and Shout."
I would rather hear Matthew McConaughey talking about his Lincoln. But that being said,
that's a thing for the lawyers right there.
Well, Lincoln. I think the Jim Carrey thing too, where he mocks him. But that aside, we got back from that trip, and one of our friends told us that there were beagle puppies at a place about 30 minutes from our house. We went and picked her up that night. She was, like 6 weeks old. So now we're looking. We've looked all online. There's no beagle puppies other than from breeders, and we don't do that. So, well, I shouldn't say there isn't any. There are a few, but they aren't. Something about how they, I don't know, I call Mary the pet whisperer. I have different names for it at different points in time. Like I called her the signs girl for a while because even to this day, she's very particular about her water. If it looks funny, if it seems funny, if anything seems off, she's like, it has this wrong with it. It has this wrong with it. And I'm like, what, does it have amoebas in it? Does it have this in it? Like, like the signs girl. So I gave her crap for that for years, but that's how I would introduce her sometimes with her waters. But now I call her the pet whisperer because she picked all these other pets and they were perfect. There's only one that's been speaking to her via picture, and it's this one that's at a shelter in Chicago. Yeah. So,
well, hey, go up there and take a look at the pet on your way back. Stop by Michael Wilson's and have a party.
But it's a 4.5-hour drive, and
hey, when it comes to a pet you might potentially love, a 4.5-hour drive is nothing.
It gets better. It's not our fault. she called Monday twice. She called first like earlier in the day, and mind you, this pet, along with 18 others, were rescued from a kill center in Kentucky.
Oh.
So
See, that's not right.
so I'm thinking, I'm like, so this dog, like, and I'm surprised because the dog is like, as of right now, like 3 months old.
Right.
So like, I'm really confused as to why this dog was on a kill list, like along with these 18 others. Because like it was a shelter in Chicago that's like authorized by PetSmart to come in and save animals.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure it out, and she calls Monday, and they couldn't give her any information. Like as far as they said, she was ready for visitors on like Monday.
Yeah.
But we were letting them know, look, we're from Michigan. We'd like to come out and adopt the dog, and take her home. And they're like, well, we'll have to let you know about, how that procedure works or whatever. So she calls back hours later, even though they said they were going to call first.
Right.
And then they tell her, yeah, we don't know if you can do that because you can't adopt them the same day that you fill out the paperwork.
Oh.
And we're like, huh? And they're closed Tuesday. So, like,
jeez.
It's really, like, bothering us. And so, because we were planning on if...
Wait, are you meaning to tell me that they're telling you that you essentially have a 5-day waiting period? So adopting a dog is like getting a gun? Serious?
Oh, it's almost like that. But so what we're trying to tell them is, we have no problem waiting a day, like, because what we would do is we would vacation there for a day, like go to a hotel, stay there overnight. We'd see the dog first, go to the hotel, spend the night. The next day when they open, pick the dog up and bring her home. Because they don't do things that way. They make you come meet the dog first, which I get.
Mm-hmm.
And they make you fill out the paperwork first, which I get.
Right.
What I don't get is they say, after you've done all that, we'll call you.
So it's basically like you're applying for a loan and
you're applying to purchase a dog. And don't get me wrong, like, I understand they're being careful. At the same time, if somebody wants to adopt a dog, wouldn't you think you'd let them?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they'd have a home. I realize this dog wouldn't have a problem getting a home, but, like, somebody that's, like, this adamant to drive 4.5 hours to come pick up a pet.
Yeah.
I can understand. So like, I sent them an email. I filled out the application online just for S&Gs. Sent it to them, emailed them, told them our story. Like, told them, the fact my other pooch happened to pass away. We know how a beagle works. We know how dogs work. It's we love dogs. So this is the dog that we want. Is there any way that we can get her? So like, I'm gonna have to wait until like midday tomorrow.
Yeah. For
a reply, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna release this episode early because it's gonna get stomped by the top 100 come Friday. So yeah, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm hoping that they call back, like, because what we would do is we'd book the hotel for Thursday, stay there overnight till Friday, pick the dog up Friday, if they let us.
Yeah,
I'm hoping. Because if not, we're gonna just wait.
Yeah. See, this is what I don't understand about a place like this. See, you already filled out the application, so they should be processing the application.
Well, I sent it to them today. But
I know, but I'm saying, like, the way you explained it to me, it was like you go there, you spend some time with the dog, you fill out the application, then you have to wait. No, what you do is you either already have the application filled out, or you send them to it online, or wherever, however, whatever. They then process it and whatever else. You then go there, spend some time with the dog. If you and the dog get along, maybe during that time that you're spending with the dog, they then go into a huddle or a corner or whatever and just go whatever, and decide, okay, these are the people that this dog needs to go home with. And so that way there's no waiting period on your part. You know what I mean? It's like, don't go there, fill an application out, spend 15, 20, 30 minutes with the dog, and then have to wait 2 days? I mean...
Well, they didn't even say 2 days. They said
no,
which is ridiculous to me, because I let them know, like, look, and she told them, she's like, we're on vacation this week. Like, literally, this is... And we didn't take into account they're closed Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I physically told Mary, I said, if they make us have to drive out there, like, to go visit the dog, and we spend the night, and then they still won't let us pick her up, I would drive out there, like, whatever freaking day it is, to go pick this dog up, because, like, it means that much to us. But, like, I shouldn't have to jump through that many hoops
to adopt a dog.
Like, when I got Sadie, we went to it was a hunter that had a bunch of dogs that got out of their pen and had an oops batch. And he tried to sell us 2 for $100. And we're like, no, we only need 1. He's like, all right, 75. Boom, done.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, that's from somebody's just backyard, but still, like, I could go to the Humane Society by me, pick up a dog, and get it home today. Like,
I mean, for when my mom got Snow White, our dog that we had for the longest time, she got her in 2006, and we went to Feeder Supply, actually. You know, saw she was there, and she was a year old at that point, and my mom just fell in love with the dog. We filled out the paperwork. She spent time with the dog. We took the dog home like 45 minutes later. You know, so I don't understand this whole. The state of Illinois has some weird pet adoption practices.
Still, Illinois has some weird practices, period, but that's just insane.
It's because there's a lot of weird people that live in Illinois.
You mean the ones that come from it that get into office?
No, I mean in general, all over the state.
There's nothing wrong with Michael Wilson.
He says he's from Chicago. He lives in Northwest Indiana. There's a big difference.
Oh, okay, so he's free and clear.
Yeah.
So there's nothing. So there's stuff wrong with everybody else then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes, I realize that.
Yeah.
It's a fun poke and laugh, but yeah, I was beating around the bush with
it's
that.
Not like
inside joke.
I mean, it's not like you're gonna go there. You're gonna go to Aurora, Illinois. You're gonna be able to go down to a guy's basement and watch him and his blonde buddy bang out in Headbangers Ball.
All right, that's enough.
Oh come on! It's a Wayne's World joke. Come on!
I didn't know that.
Let's do the Scooby Doo ending. Boo-doo, boo-doo.
I don't watch that movie very much, so
I haven't watched it that much, but everybody remembers the whole. Oh, let's do the Scooby Doo ending.
Well, I remember that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so aside from that, like it's in like Chicago Heights or something like that, and it's like right in Chicago, so it's gonna really suck if we have to drive there and then still can't pick up the dog.
Hit Wilson up.
Well, that ain't even it. We have limited time, and then I got the 2 kids. Like it's got to work out
that's true.
in just the right manner.
Yeah, that's true.
Because family's not very reliable in that. Not like keeping them overnight
right
during the week when we need it.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Aside from all that. So now that we're a member of Blog Talk Radio and have been for a little bit, I'd like to promote a podcast that's actually on Blog Talk Radio that's also filled with geeky discussion and geeky themed games. Plus they play geeky games like Character Cage Match, geeky accents, and Smitten Superheroes with super fun guests from the worlds of movies, TV, web series, and comics. They have a live show every Wednesday at 11 p.m. Eastern Time at supergeekedup.com. And they also have it every Wednesday on Blog Talk Radio at blogtalkradio.com/supergeekedup. What we're covering this week. So be sure to check them out and tell them you heard it on Altered Geek Unleashed.
Welcome to the Wicked Radio Network.
Want to interact with the show? You can contact us in the following ways. You can call the voicemail line 502-526-5821. You can email us feedback@geekcastradio.com. You can visit the episode post on geekcastradio.com or alteredgeek.com. You can get a hold of us on Twitter at Altered Geek. Look for us every week on geekcastradio.com, of course, Stitcher Smart Radio, iTunes, Blog Talk Radio, and alteredgeek.com. And now, back to the show. What are your thoughts on the top 100 so far? Like, without getting in too much detail.
It's interesting. It's weird to me that we're doing it 25 at a time. Don't get me wrong. I think it's great. I think it's interesting. But it's weird to me because right now, Part 1 and Part 2 are the bottom 50. Which means Part 3 and Part 4 are going to be the top 50, and then Part 5 is going to be the closing. Which it's just, I don't know, it's a little, I like it. It's all right. There's certain shows that I would like. Okay, I'll point one out. The Shield is way too low. I plan on bringing this up on the actual Part 3 of the Top 100. The FX show, The Shield, is way too low. I believe I had that at number 2 on the list I submitted. That is easily one of, if not the best cop, one of the best cop shows that has ever been on television. And I'll get into that when we do the Top 100 Part 3. But anyway, overall, I'm enjoying it. I like that it's, bringing comments on the website and different debates and whatever else. And so there's that. Let's see what else. Since we're recording this early, folks, we don't get to sit here and say, hey, we watched all the superhero shows this week. And this one was good, this one wasn't, this one was good, this one... So we don't really get to say that. Right now, I've seen the latest episode of Supergirl, and I've seen the latest episode of Gotham. So obviously we're recording this Tuesday night, and The Flash just aired a few hours ago. Obviously haven't seen it yet because it hasn't shown up on Hulu. It doesn't show up on Hulu until the next day. But I'm really digging Supergirl. Now, I don't want to bring the show down, but I do have to bring this up. Supergirl was going to air an episode about bombings or about some sort of city violence or something this past Monday, the 16th of November, 2015. They switched that episode with the Livewire episode because over the past weekend, this past Friday, there were a bunch of attacks in Paris. And I think it was great for CBS to do that, to switch the episodes out and not air something with a similar material as to what happened in real life. I think that's a really good move for them, because, and it might throw the show continuity out of line, but who cares? It's kind of like what happened September 11th, 2001. Everybody had an extreme long moment of silence in the television media. So I've been watching Supergirl and Gotham, and I'm really digging Supergirl. I understand why some people may not be. I don't care that Jimmy Olsen is not a white guy, because the actor that's playing Jimmy Olsen, he just fits the Jimmy role.
He's great.
He just fits that. Like in the pilot, when she eventually tells him, and he kind of already knew, obviously, because he's Superman's pal. And she goes to fly off in one of the seats, and he's like, up and away. And I just like, oh god, this is just so hilarious. They even throw in the fact that he has his watch for Superman. My thing about Supergirl is, it has been this, but I don't want it to turn. It's been her show. It's been her story. But when they do reference Superman and Clark and whatever else, at first I just felt like it was like, okay, either show him or don't show him. And I don't care what Warner Brothers, Time Warner, whatever the hell, whatever deal they have not to have Superman or Batman on. I don't give a crap about any of that company stuff. Either show him once in the suit, or show him as Clark, or show him at least once. Not this constant, oh, he's a red and blue blur, and blah, 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 blah. If he does show up as Clark, I hope it is Tom Welling that plays him.
He ain't doing nothing else.
Yeah, that's true. It's not like he can do cheaper by the dozen 3.
I'd have to get the rest of the cast to
I
want to
know.
show up again.
Yeah, really. And hell, they're all grown up at this point. And Steve Martin's old as crap and whatever.
He could still do it.
No, I know he could, but I'm just saying. But I like where the show's going. I like how the character development's going. I'm really interested to see what the hell is going on with Hank Henshaw. I know everybody's assuming it's Martian Manhunter, a.k.a. John Jones. It'd be interesting to see if they throw it that way. But I'm really digging Supergirl. Gotham this week was good. It wasn't bad. And Gotham season 2 overall has been fairly decent. I know our buddy Jeremy Fine doesn't particularly still care for Gotham, but I think season 2 is so much better than season 1. But this week's episode was a little off, a little more violent than it has been in the past. Like some of the gunshots and stuff, and some of the, like, there was a point where somebody slit somebody else's throat and you could really see the blood go. I mean, it got a little violent on, like, almost beyond the TV 14 rating on Gotham.
Yeah.
That was for a show that airs at 8 o'clock on Fox, that was a little almost overboard. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just stating a fact of, whatever. Like I said, I can't wait to see what Flash does and what Arrow does. I've really turned around on Arrow, folks. And I'll say this, and I will always say this. Arrow, for me, is seasons 1, 2, and 4. Yes, season 3 happened. Yes, it gave us, the scientist and Blast Off and the whole Barry origin, and that's all well and good. But the rest of season 3, I can't say it enough. It was too damn dark, and I'm so happy that they are now doing this whole lighter, funner Arrow in season 4.
I like the Arrow Cave.
Yeah, that new Arrow Cave is pretty badass.
And his Justice League keeps getting bigger.
Yep.
Just like the Flash.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, Arrow is this year, Arrow and Flash both are going to be the bridges. Because So, in Arrow Season 3 was the bridge to get to the Flash show. In Flash Season 2 and Arrow Season 4, and I remember, this is the coolest thing, okay, folks? I don't know, I wish Grant Gustin was a little bit more, online as much as Stephen Amell is, but Stephen Amell's online all the time. He's always doing his little Facebook videos and stuff like that. He did one where somebody asked him about the crossovers this year. And he made a statement. He said, the crossovers last year, you could watch one without watching the other, and vice versa, whatever else. If he understood that some people watch Flash and some people watch Arrow, some people watch both. He said this year the crossovers are going to matter, and you're going to have to watch both shows, regardless. And this year the crossovers matter because they're essentially the kickoff for Legends of Tomorrow. At least the first one is anyway. Because the first one, one of them is titled Legends of Yesterday, and what's the other one titled? Oh, God, I saw
Legends of Today.
Legends of Today, yeah. So, I honestly can't wait. And I love what they're going to eventually do with Killer Frost on The Flash, because, yes, it is going to be Danielle Panabaker, but it's not going to be our Caitlin. It's going to be Earth 2 Caitlin.
Uh-huh.
So, because I was really worried about that, because if you look at our Caitlin's path and where she is now, she hasn't, okay, sure, yes, Ronnie died, she was sad, she was pissed, he came back, and then he went away again, and then he died again, and whatever else, but there isn't anything really right now that our Caitlin can go through that would make her turn that evil, so I'm more so interested to see how the Earth 2 Caitlin, like, I can't wait to see what her story's like. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the show. I know that they're going to make a super serum for extra speed, but
I hope they don't do that. I hope they just explain in a way that he's tapping into the Speed Force a little bit more.
Well, the new Harrison's going to make it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well,
Here's Harry.
no, he's gonna give it to Jay Garrick.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine then. No, that's fine. See, like, when it comes to Flash, don't get me wrong. I love Barry in this new show. But before then, I was never a Barry Allen fan because growing up with Justice League, it was Wally. And you look at those last few episodes of Justice League Unlimited season 1, where we get Panic in the Sky and Divided We Fall and all that stuff, and Wally ends up speeding so fast to destroy Lex Luthor's suit, and ends up going so fast that he becomes part of the Speed Force, and and then they all have to, everybody has to just basically reach in there and pull him out because he goes so damn fast. He's like, I can never go that fast again. And like, that's the Flash that I know. That's the Flash that I enjoy. But coming into this show, learning about Barry, learning about Iris, learning about all these characters that are in the CW show, I absolutely love it, and I can't wait for every week. And anyone that says that the writing on the Flash is bad and cheesy, yeah, okay, there is some cheese. I'm not going to say there isn't, but anyone that says the writing's bad, you need your head examined, because
Yep.
I don't see how the writing is bad on this show. They don't leave anything. They leave open-ended story bits, but they don't necessarily just leave storylines and just go to something else. And the way I look at The Flash now is season 1 was a combination of Villain of the Week for the first maybe 15 or 20 episodes. Well, no, first 15 episodes maybe. And as we got closer and closer to the season end, obviously it came more about Harrison Wells and Reverse Flash and Barry's mom and all that. Season 2, it's not Villain of the Week. It's a full-on streamlined storytelling piece where Barry did this thing. Now all this shit is happening because Barry did this thing. And some people will say, oh, sure, yeah, but it's still Villain of the Week, blah, 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 blah. It's not.
No, I like the overarching way that they have everything set up. So
Absolutely. What else has been in the news? Let's see. Crap, I can't think of anything.
well, I know next year I'm planning on doing the GCRN awards again,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna tweak it a little bit, but it'll be pretty much the same formula.
Uh-huh.
I'm also going to I'm gonna do the top 100. I'm gonna release information on that one when it gets closer, but I have an idea to level the playing field, as it were.
Okay.
Like I said, I've got an idea. I just got to figure out how I'm gonna work it. But it's going to be interesting. That's all I'm giving you.
Yeah. So this year has kind of all been about anniversaries, whether it's 10 years, 5 years, 15 years, 30 years. We've had 30 years since Back to the Future, 30 years since Breakfast Club. We've had 50 years since Get Smart premiered back in 1965. And apparently this is also the 25th anniversary of the original Home Alone.
Who still watches that?
The original? Come on,
I know.
everybody does.
Every Christmas. That's the
Yeah.
only time I watch the first two.
Yeah. Why is Bill Murray doing a Netflix variety show? A very Murray. Oh God.
Because people like Bill Murray.
There are just some actors that I.
Well,
Oh.
I have to say that some of his like stuff that he's done, like I enjoy, but not like if he's doing a serious thing, I don't like him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's the old man in me talking. But
I don't know. I just like. I'm pretty much over Bill Murray at this point. I really am. Like,
He's over himself. That's why he hangs out with fans instead of making more Ghostbusters movies.
when are you putting this out?
Tomorrow.
Oh, okay, so on Wednesday. So the same day that my interview with Joe Reed from Off the Cuff and Geek Stuff Garagecast, we interviewed IDW's Tom Waltz. He's the writer on the TMNT ongoing series. He actually, because he actually also, I believe, he either edits or writes Ghostbusters as well for IDW. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not looking at the information. I just know he has something to do with the Ghostbuster title over at IDW. He said he's seen several versions of the script, and whatever they have now, he said it's pretty damn good for the movie.
For the new Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Huh.
So, I don't know. It's just like, when I think of Bill Murray people, I think of like, obviously Ghostbusters 1 and 2, but like stuff like What About Bob and his little cameo appearances in Space Jam, and like, I think of, Groundhog Day, and say what you will about the first Charlie's Angels, but him as Bosley in the first Charlie's Angels. That's really all I think of him as. And I can't think of a movie in the last at least 5 to 10 years that I've actually watched of his that I actually enjoy. Has he even done anything in the last 5 or 10 years that is remotely, that I would even know what the hell it was? Probably not.
I don't know.
So, what are you hoping to get? Now, I'm not asking for you to spoil your thoughts here, but what are you hoping to get out of The Farce Awakens?
I don't really know. And I say that with the utmost love of the franchise. Like, I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I've kind of beat the dead horse already with what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
But I don't. I kind of, I'm one of those guys. I'll keep watching the damn trailers as long as they keep coming out.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I'm still going to see the stupid movie. It doesn't matter. And I didn't say stupid, meaning like I
know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not stupid. Yeah. So I'm not really sure what I'm looking for in the film, other than the fact that it's the first time we're going to get the original characters together.
Yeah. Okay, so the last 5 or 10 years or so, he was Agent 13 in Get Smart in 2008. He was in Zombieland for Bill Murray. He was Ice Pick in Dumb and Dumber 2 last year.
I remember that.
Coming up, he's going to be the voice of Baloo in the Jungle Book.
Not surprising.
That's a little strange for me.
Why is Garfield in there? Yeah, I did one of your references.
It's funny though. He wasn't. Well, he was at one point, but that was originally Lorenzo music, even though it sounded like Bill Murray for Garfield and Friends.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. With Star Wars, I'm like you. I just want to see the damn thing. Like, I wish I could really, outside of basically just clicking an X and saying, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. I wish I could really cater my Facebook trending articles to what I really want to see trending on Facebook. Because I've seen this stupid story about Disney releases TV spots and behind-the-scenes footage for Star Wars episodes. I don't care about TV spots. TV spots are 30 seconds or less. We've already seen all the trailers we're going to see. We are, as of Wednesday, when this episode goes out, we are officially 2 months to the day, a month to the day, until the damn movie comes out. Let's just get December 18th here already. Since we're talking about this, what did you think of the story about the guy who got to see an early uncut version before he passed away.
I think actually that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no reason why he shouldn't have. I mean, that's like a Make-A-Wish Foundation type thing. Like, you should give the guy that to go away with.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. What else is, like, okay, outside of Star Wars, what other geeky, and for me, The Hobbit doesn't count, I'm sorry, I'm just not into that, but what other geeky things are coming in the last 2 months of this year? I can't really think of anything.
This may or may not be bullshit.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, folks.
Be ready for this. I don't like spoilers, and I don't like rumors.
Yeah.
So, like, this may, like I said, be
A
bullshit.
large grain of salt, people.
Although it would be a welcome grain of salt.
Yeah.
You know how they were talking about that, what is it called? God damn it, I can't remember. Anakin Skywalker might come back in episode 7 or 8 or whatever it is. Now there's a thing going around that Qui-Gon might return as well.
He'll come back as a Force ghost, just like everybody else.
He said that he, like, there's some saying that he has been asked, and then there's some saying he hasn't been asked.
Okay, don't get...
I think it would be great if he was the Force ghost that was helping guide Luke.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, folks. I like, not Ewan McGregor, what's his... Liam Neeson. Thank you. I like Liam Neeson as an actor. I'm sorry. What else is that guy doing? Okay.
Every action movie ever that looks the same as the last one.
So Taken 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, don't get me wrong, folks. I like Liam Neeson. I loved him as Hannibal. I know a lot of people don't like the 2010 A-Team movie, and that's fine. I liked him as Hannibal Smith in the A-Team film. But, like, seriously, what is that guy doing? Like, I mean, I don't know, folks. I just don't know. It's one of those things where, okay, if you look at his filmography, he was the raccoon he was the voice of the raccoon in The Nut Job last year. He was bad cop, good cop, pa cop in the Lego Movie last year. He had Taken 3, Run All Night, and Entourage this year, along with Ted 2. And next year he's got something called Silence, Operation Chromite, and A Monster Calls. So, like, I don't know. I like the guy. I wish he would do more mainstream stuff, but I was really going to wonder to see if there's a third or fourth Taken movie coming, because it's like, hey, you know, the Taken movies, there are only 3 of them so far, but they are, to me, what the Paranormal Activity movies are to some people. There's like 1 million Paranormal Activity movies at this point. It's like, hey, and I honestly wonder, how in the hell can Paranormal Activity have 5, 6, 7 different movies when it doesn't seem like, and I'm not looking at the information for Paranormal Activity, but it doesn't seem like those movies make a lot of money. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. So, anything else you'd like to bring up before we close it out?
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, we're both getting nasally, and
I am sneezing my face off right now, folks. I've had to go on mute 3 times so I can clear my throat. So, you know, just be glad. Judicious use of mute. Okay, well, the first Paranormal Activity had a budget of $15,000. That can't be right. And the box.
No, that's right. That's why Paramount bought it.
Okay, well, the box office was $193.4 million. So, okay, the movies make money, but just I just don't understand how.
Well, that's what killed Saw.
Yeah.
Bastards. Saw was such a better series, even though they killed off the guy in like third movie. If you haven't seen it, tough shit.
It's old as hell now.
It's been out for years. So yeah. So yeah, I'll probably do another episode like this like early next week too because of Thanksgiving airing on, or I don't know, because Thanksgiving being around.
You could have this. We could record it Tuesday, and you can have it air on Thanksgiving. But
That's true.
I don't
Could
know,
do
whatever
that.
you want to do.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
No. What we ought to do is we ought to go through before then. We ought to go through all the Black Friday sales, and we can have a Black Friday show.
That would be hilarious, actually.
Yeah, that's what we need to do. And just to keep on this paranormal activity train so I don't sound like a complete moron saying I'm not looking at any information as far as the movie's made money or not. The second movie had a budget of $3 million and made 177.5. So I guess they're making money. It just seems like, for me, a series like Paranormal Activity, I hear more and more and more and more and more. Oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one. Hey, it's another 3 months. Let's do another one. You know, it's like it's everywhere. It's kind of like what, you know, pretty much after Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare, I pretty much stopped paying attention to Nightmare on Elm Street because it's like, hey, let's do the next 3, or hey, let's do this, or hey, you know, it's like, wow, whatever. I don't know. But yeah, we really ought to get out of here because.
Good night, everybody. So you can get hold of me on Twitter at SCP21 and yourself, sir.
TFG1 Mike.
So until next time, get Altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks.